What's good, YouTube? Hold up. Ah, welcome right here, back at it with another video. Today's video, or the title of today's video is gonna be basically who's in charge. Okay. Um. So earlier, I had got a crazy urge. I'm young, just like the rest of y'all. I have urges, just like the rest of y'all, and it gets to the point that you gotta tell yourself who's in charge. Either your higher self, your brain, your best self is gonna be in charge, or your lower self, your dick, your genitals, your balls, your lust is gonna be in charge. And I say this because it's like earlier I had got an urge or whatever, and instead of me engaging in that urge and doing something, basically engaging in my lower self, my higher self stepped in and said, you know what, I'm gonna go hit the bag, I'm gonna go blow off some energy, blow off some steam, whatever you want to call it. And while I'm hitting the bag and I'm just blowing off this steam, getting rid of this urge or whatever, just using my energy in a productive kind of way, or just not engaging in my lower self like I would do in the past, it just made me think of, like, I need to make this video. Like, that was easily an example of who's really in charge. That's what you gotta ask yourself every day, or that's what you gotta tell yourself. Like, in my higher self, my best self, my brain, in charge, or is it my lower self that's in charge? And like, you don't gotta be perfect. Sometimes your lower self can be in charge. It's not no good or bad thing to it. It depends on where you at, what stage of where you at in your life, and what you want to engage in. But it's just a question that you gotta ask yourself. Like, when you're doing certain activities, you gotta ask yourself, is this productive? Am I like growing from this, or is this making me get better? Am I evolving from what I'm doing, or am I just staying stagnant? And it's like, you gotta be able to be real with yourself. To be honest, you gotta be real with yourself when you see yourself engaging in certain activities that is not like progressing you, or when you just being stagnant, doing those your lower vibrational, your lower self activities. That's what made me just want to make this video, because I could have easily just been like, oh, I'm gonna go do something, or whatever the case. I'm gonna go look at, I'm like, you know what, my higher self stepped in and was like, you know what, I'm gonna go hit the bag. I'm gonna go blow off some steam. And then it just made me, as soon as I'm hitting the bag, I'm blowing off steam, I'm getting some good work in, I'm like, man, I gotta make this video after, because this was a prime example of your higher self, like my higher self being in charge. And the more consistent you let your higher self be in charge, the faster you will grow. I'm not saying you can't grow in your lower self, but it's like your lower self just keeps you stagnant. You releasing all the time, you wasting time, you looking at the sites, you wasting time, you messing with mad chicks, you wasting time, unless you already at where you want to be. I mean, even when you at, like, say you at the place of life or whatever, and you good or whatever, you should never look at the sites. But if you mess with mad chicks, but you already at the place you want to be in your life, even though that's no such thing really, you should always want to grow and get better. That's the only time I'll say you can get a pass. But other than that, if you're not where you want to be, and you mess with a bunch of chicks or whatever, engaging in your lower self, your lower desires or whatever, but you're not really where you want to be, it's a waste of time, bruh. Every here and there is not bad, but if you always doing it, it's a waste of time. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy. But you just gotta be real with yourself and tell yourself, like, who's really in charge right now? Is this bettering me, or is this draining my energy? do I feel like I'm getting better, or do I feel like I'm getting worse? Staying stagnant. But yeah, I don't want to make this video too long. Just something told me to come make this video of like, who's in charge? Your higher self in charge, your brain, your best self, or is your lower self, your dick, your balls, the flesh? Like, who's in charge? Your higher self, your soul, your spirit in charge, or is the flesh in charge? That's a question you gotta ask yourself. This journey's not easy, especially for young guys, especially for myself. You know, I got high amounts of sexual energy stored up, high amounts of sexual energy in general, just because I have a high sex drive. Plus, I'm young, my hormones is working fucking 100 times as normal, just because, you know, I'm on this journey, so my hormones are working even 10 times the average person. So this journey is not easy, but I have to distract myself with productive habits, because if I don't, I'm gonna end up doing something I'm gonna regret later, at least until I get into the position I want to be. But even then, I won't let that bring me back down, because if you get into the position you want to be in life, and then you say like, oh, okay, well, I'm in the position I want to be in life, and then you just start engaging in that lower self all the time, you're gonna wind up being right back at where you started. You might lose everything, and I'm not gonna be that guy. There's plenty of guys that you have seen had everything they ever wanted and then lost it because they couldn't control their sexual energy. It made them make bad decisions. I won't be that guy, and I hope y'all won't either. But the title today, the question of the day is, who's in charge? Your higher self, your brain, your spirit, your soul, or is your lower self in charge? Your dick, your balls, your flesh, your lust. That's all I really got, man. My finger is getting so much better. It's getting better, but it's not there yet. It's getting there. That's about the most I can get it to, just to show the example. This finger, this is my middle finger. This finger, it should be like this, all the way down. But this is the most I can get it to. So I mean, it's getting there. It's getting there. So, you know, I've been doing like therapy, trying to get it back, but it's getting there. But anyway, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Drop me a comment what y'all think of the video. Drop me a comment of who's in charge, your higher self or your flesh. And until the next one, been your boy Walking Raw. Shout out to the Disciplined Warriors. To the next one, peace.